Hello, my name is Esther. I'm 33 and I have PMDD. PMDD stands for premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I also have autism, and just to let you know, I also have a pug snoring on the bed. So if you hear background ASMR of snoring noises, that is her. So I wanted to come on and share my story and talk about PMDD. PMDD. Yep, too many D's the first time. Because although I feel like it's starting to get talked about a bit more, there's just not enough stories out there and we need to keep sharing. So what is PMDD? It is a severe hormone sensitivity disorder linked to the menstrual cycle. It is like PMS on steroids. It can affect your mental, physical health, it affects your relationships, it can affect your job, it can affect your entire life when you are in a PMDD episode. So when you are in this PMDD week, your sad week, it is because you are in your luteal phase of your menstrual cycle. So it is the bit between ovulation and your actual period. So essentially your body gears up thinking you're going to have a baby, and then you're waiting to fall pregnant. That's what your body thinks anyway. And then obviously you don't fall pregnant and you have the period. It's that week of preparing your body that you have these intense mood swings. So I did have made notes because I will not remember all of this. Like, I see myself recording and my mind goes blank, but this is like my own words and my own experience. So the emotional mental side of it are intense moods, and for me, I get the most extreme depression, to the point like I no longer want to be here. It's awful. Rage, this intense rage, like I could probably start an argument with myself alone in the house. It's awful. The smallest thing can just send you flying. You can get overwhelmed a lot more easily, especially if you are autistic. The reason I mention my autism is that you're more likely to have PMDD. I don't know why I try to say an extra D on that. PMDD with autism or ADHD. So they're quite linked. Your anxiety, if you didn't have it already, just skyrockets this week. Crying, of course, that's all I seem to do for a good solid 2 days. You just feel out of control, like you literally have no control. Like, the only way to describe it is if you've ever seen Harry Potter and the Death Eaters come and just suck the happiness and the life out of you. That is what happens in your PMDD week. Like, it just goes and you've got no control over that. No amount of like drinking water, eating healthy, going for a walk will heal that. Obviously some things will take the edge off, but you can't just think your way out of it, if that makes sense. You'll want to isolate yourself. I tend to just want no one around. I feel like I'm a burden, so I'll push people. I just want to be left alone because I just feel like I'm not nice to be around, but that is my brain attacking myself, telling me that, when there are people that love me and genuinely want to help. You will question your relationships. I say you will, you might not. This like overall, this happens to majority of people with PMDD. Life choices you'll question. You may leave your job. Guilty, I've left jobs out of like impulse because I just thought, well, what's the point? You'll have extreme sensitivity to stress. Everything in this week that you may be able to cope with normally, like normal life stresses, in this PMDD week will just be amplified. That's how, the only way I can describe it is just everything is amplified. You're super sensitive. Things you could normally tolerate, you probably can't tolerate in this week. In my personal experience also, and this isn't for everyone, it may be for you as well, I have had moments of psychosis where I have become so low and so stressed that I've started seeing bugs and shadow people, I'd call them, at the corner of my eye, and it's quite scary. But then I didn't make the connection to it being PMDD until I looked into it later on. It does also affect you physically. So as well as the autism, the PMDD. Why do I do that? I also have hypermobility Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I'm being investigated for POTS. I have MECFS. I want to say that's it. No, it's not it. I've got endometriosis, and I did have adenomyosis. However, I have had a hysterectomy 5 years ago now. I had my womb removed and my cervix removed because of my adenomyosis, and because I thought removing my period would help my PMDD. It did for a year. It stopped everything. It stopped my endo, stopped my PMDD, and then a year to the date of the hysterectomy, it all came back with a vengeance. So lucky me. So yeah, that is another thing to take into account, is that I'm not having my periods, but I'm still having PMDD. So I don't get the relief from when the period comes because I'm not having one. It's hard to sort of know when it's going to happen and when it's going to stop this week. Do you know what I mean? It's very hard to track. I've sort of digressed a little bit. I just wanted to talk about the physical symptoms. So you can be exhausted, more exhausted, insomnia, or sleeping too much. I find that I end up waking up about 3 in the morning and that's it for the day. I cannot get back to sleep. Bloating, headaches and migraines, joint and muscle pain. I always have pain in my body, but I do find in my sad week everything, like the joint and muscle pain, gets so much worse, and that's how isn't also a clue that I'm in that week. Appetite changes. You might be craving things more like sugar, chocolate, stuff like that. Sickness and nausea is something I also get during that week. Dizziness and heart palpitations. So my POT symptoms get so much worse. When I stand up, I'll black out more, get dizzy, and it's so much worse in that week. Hot flushes and night sweats. I'll come back to that one. Sensory overwhelm can just become, like I said, it just intensifies everything. Increased pain sensitivity. Yep, something that wouldn't bother you so much before in this week. Just, yeah. And digestive issues, which I think you know what I mean. Like, everything gets worse. So apart from all that, mad. I went to the doctors when I was 13 regarding my periods, about my moods and how extreme they were, and it was mentioned that I have PMDD. But obviously, where I was 13 years old, I didn't really take much notice. I just went on the pill and got on with it, I suppose. But I didn't get on with it because my mental health had struggled for all those years with a mix of undiagnosed autism. It wasn't a good combination, let's just say. So I went on the pill. I piggybacked my pill for years just to avoid having periods. And then when I was 28, I asked for a hysterectomy after being diagnosed with endo. And I had that. A year, as I was saying before, a year after that, everything came back with a vengeance. I had relief from endometriosis and PMDD after my hysterectomy. And since then, my PMDD has got even worse. And in June this year, I am about to have a oophorectomy. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it is the removal of my ovaries so that my hormones aren't just all over the place anymore. Remove them, add HRT back in, and fingers crossed it will help my PMDD. I don't for one second think this is going to be a miracle cure. I feel like it will take the edge off. I still have autism, potentially undiagnosed ADHD, years of trauma, but I do feel my hormones are the main culprit of what's going on. So before deciding to go into a surgical menopause, I went into a chemical menopause. I took Zoladex injections, which confirmed my PMDD. So what they do is they switch off your ovaries, and they added the HRT back in, and I felt better. It took the edge off. I was having, rather than, I don't know, 10 days of this intense depression, I was having one day, not even a whole day, where I was just like, oh, I can't cope, tears, okay, done, move on, great. I would rather that than what I live with. So it's a no-brainer for me. That is the option for me. It sounds strange, but I am looking forward to it. I'm not naive. Again, I don't think it's a miracle cure, but I feel like it will take the edge off. But yeah, I was hoping to vlog how I am after my surgical menopause, so that women can, I don't know, find out more, have more informed choices, and just be brutally honest. Like, I will, if I go ahead and have it done and I feel worse, I'll be honest with you. But there are other accounts on the internet of these women that have done this at a young age and they do feel better. So here goes. Wish me luck. Thank you for listening, and I will be back soon. Bye.